Hey, welcome back, everybody. Say, I was thinking about this, and being that you are creating this piece based on your client, you may want to just experiment and play around with some different ideas and how to organize some graphic design elements, whether it be using brushes or the halftone effect or type, and then layering. But you might want to do it in different ways. I do not want you to copy mine. So I'm just going to go and for this last video, I'm going to just take you through some of the layers I've dealt with and manipulated. You have the tools. You've been using layering, layer masks. You've been using, you know how to use the selection tools. You've used gradients. You know how to use a type tool. So I'm not going to redo that for you. I want you to create this on your own. So I'm just going to take you through some things as far as what I've done to make this. Okay, so if I close this down, let's just start at the bottom. We have a white background. I have experimented a lot here. Okay, I've used some things. I've thrown some things away. I've closed the eye down on a lot of these layers I don't want. Okay, here's basically this layer is basically what I want to keep. Okay, so what I did to create this is I merged, or I selected all of the layers I wanted. I drug them down to the copy down here, and I made copies of all my layers, and then I just merged them together. That's one thing you can try to do. But let's take a look-see. So here I was experimenting with different brushes. Okay, some things you can do with brushes. You can go online and just type in free Photoshop downloadable brushes. Okay, free Photoshop brushes. If you want to be more specific, if you want a splatter brush, they have tons of splatter brushes. Look at that. Look at what it comes up. I mean, a lot of free ones. If you want like watercolor brushes, why recreate the wheel, right? They're already there for you. You can download some of those. While you're on the Mac, luckily, I mean, we can download these things. It's going to let us. So why not use it? If you want drip brushes, look at tons of drip brushes. So you get the picture, right? So what you want to do is, get creative with brushes, or you can create your own brush. So I've used some splatter brushes. I have a lot of brushes already in my presets. So and I also have some brushes that are located on the Maple Grove Assign drive that you can use, and you just upload them. You just double click on it and it loads right into Photoshop. Okay, the file. Call me over if you need help with that. I'll show you how to do that. But so play around with different kinds of brushes, and you might be pleased with your results with that. Okay. So that's that layer. I didn't end up keeping any of those, but brushes the way you layer them can really create some interesting effects and details. Okay. I'm gonna step backwards a bunch. Okay, so here we go. So I didn't end up using that one. So this layer was I selected the head of my client or myself, and then I filled it in with white. And I have my black shirt here. I didn't end up using that. Didn't want it. Here's another splatter background that we can use. Okay. Now, how did I create this? Well, I showed you in a previous video that all you have to do is take a shape like this, okay, hold down Command, click on the picture box over here, and it'll select it. Then all you have to do is take your other file of your repeated patterns and paste it in. Okay, you go to Edit, Paste Into, okay, after you copy it. That's one way to do that too, all right? Not sure how helpful this video will be. There again, I kind of want you to explore different options, and maybe I'll put a new video out there for you to watch. But I just wanted to show you all the different options and layers that I've created here just to experiment with. Again, same process. Select the splatter shape, and I just filled it with a gradient. Okay, that's review 2. We've done that. We've tried that already. some things too, where let's say we want, oh, see there's another layer. You can't see it from here, but this layer has my white silhouette. So I just selected my head layer here, right? And I expanded the selection by going to select, modify, expand. So what that means is I'm going to hold down the command key, click on my shape, okay? Select, modify, expand it by maybe 10 and see it expanded. And that's how I got that outline. That's how I got that white outline around my head. All right. So a lot of different things you can play with here. There's my drip layer. Halftone. There's the colored layer, and you can feel free to use colored portrait if you want to. You don't have to do a halftone. It's up to you. Okay. What I did here is I tried to take a layer of the drip and I applied a kind of a faded gradient on there, and I tried to blend it with my black shirt. All right. This is another brush. I forget what it's called. It's more of like a graffiti brush, graffiti paint brush perhaps. And now we're looking into type, how we can manipulate the type. Okay, so there's I just typing out the word yourself. And this one is pretty much the same as the previous one. I just selected the outline of it and applied a white gradient, white to black gradient inside of it. There's my word B, different type, more of a script. Play around with different scripts, different fonts. This is script. This is more of a script, but this is like Helvetica. Okay, so play around with different fonts you want to do. Okay, you want to depending on the look you want. Okay, there's that. I filled it with color. Try to do that. Okay, there's my awesome, just the type layer. And then I put it together. This is the one I kind of went with. I put them all together with the little brush drip behind it. A couple more splatter paint brushes. I just kind of selected from my brush up here. Okay, and there's all my splatter brushes in here. So depending on what you want, play with it. You're like, man, this is not at all helpful. But again, I don't want to tell you what to do. There's my halftone with the faded gradient. To do this, all I did was I took a rectangular marquee and I filled it with a gradient tool, okay? And then I blended. I probably applied some kind of before I did the halftone, I applied a black to transparent gradient, and then I merged them together, and then I did the halftone. Okay, so sometimes you don't have to do the halftone first, right? I'm not saying that this is the best design in the world. You might even think it's kind of cheesy, but whatever. It's it's just another assignment for us to experiment with all the options in Photoshop. So not all the options, some options. I'm running on 9 minutes. So there's that kind of an overview of how I put this thing together. Maybe you can take some ideas from this, maybe not. I'll put out more. Good luck, guys.